All right. Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for being here. Today, we're going to talk to Isabela Borges. We're excited to have you here. Do you want to introduce yourself, Isabel?
Thanks, Kyle. Yeah, like Kyle said, I'm Isabela. I'm a PhD student at Michigan State University, and I work at the Kellogg Biological Station, which is like half an hour from Kalamazoo, between Kalamazoo and Battle Creek. Yeah.
Cool. Why don't you tell us what kind of scientist you are first?
So a botanist in general is a person who studies plants. I, in particular, think of myself as a plant ecologist. So I study plants in the context of ecology, which just means that I am interested in how they interact with their environments. So with other plants, with animals that eat them, with humans, all that kind of stuff.
Great. So you're a botanist and plant ecologist. You study plants, which are nearly everywhere. Where exactly do you work?
Yeah, so I work in a lot of places. Right now, since I'm in Michigan, I'm studying plants in Michigan. So I study prairies here near the field station where I work, so near Kalamazoo. And prairies are just these environments that used to be super common in this part of the US, and they've been destroyed a lot. So a lot of scientists are trying to figure out how to bring them back. And basically the most important thing in bringing them back is bringing the plants back. So that's part of what I do here in Michigan. But I'm also from Brazil, so a big part of my work that is really important to me is studying rare plants in Brazil. So over there, I work in this kind of similar environment to prairies, but they're called savannas. And they're also this like not foresty, like low-lying plant communities. And there I also work on how these places are endangered and how to better protect them.
Also, those are some really nice photos. It's cool to see the similarities.
They're really pretty.
Cool. So you study some awesome places. Do you remember why you got into science in the first place?
Yeah, so I grew up in a big city. I grew up in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. So, you know, it's a huge place. There's not really a ton of nature around, but also if you look, there is. So there's a lot of beaches, and I grew up going to the beach a lot as a little kid. And I just remember like the most fun thing about going to the beach was looking in the ocean for like little critters and picking them up, putting them in a bucket, and then playing with them. So that's like kind of one of my first memories of being interested in biology. But then as I grew up, you know, I was in the middle of the city, and so I relied a lot on Animal Planet and on TV shows about nature and about like the wilderness and all that kind of stuff. I remember there was a show, I don't know what it's called in English, but it was like Animal Planet to the Extreme or something. And every day when I came back from class, that show was playing. And it was like an hour-long show about like the most extreme animals in some way. So it was like the most poisonous or like the fastest or the slowest or something. And I really remember loving that show and thinking it was the coolest thing. And yeah, so that's kind of how I started liking science. But then in high school, I had this really awesome high school teacher that would take us to the botanical garden. And I remember he had this lecture about bees that I thought was just the coolest thing ever because bees are super cool. And I was like, I think I want to be a biologist now because of that lecture about bees, even though I don't even research bees now. But yeah, he was really important in getting me into biology.
Awesome. A lot of sources of inspiration there.
Yeah.
So if you had to boil your science down to one sentence, how would you explain what you do?
I'm really interested in studying rare plants. Like I said, I'm really interested in protecting these environments where I work because I think they're super cool. So yeah, my sentence would be that I study rare plants and how to better protect them. So basically I'm studying different aspects of like why they are rare and how they can stop being rare, and what are all the factors involved in that so that we can protect them better.
And finally, how does that science impact the world?
So my hope for my science is that we can better understand what plants need from their environments, what they need in terms of other organisms, or how much space they need as habitat, so we can understand how to protect them in their natural environments, that we can understand how they, you know, plants give us so much. They give us food, they give us shelter, they give us they're just fun to look at. So I think it's really important to protect them and understand how we can keep having this relationship with plants where we're not just taking, but we're also protecting them at the same time. So yeah, I think this information can be useful to help protect plants against future changes like climate change, which is happening right now. For plants, harvesting is the big issue. So plants that, are used for wood or are like ornamentals, these get harvested a lot. So they're in danger because of that. So yeah, my hope is that my science can help protect them from that.
Awesome, we hope so too. Great, thank you so much, Isabela. Everyone virtually thank Isabela for being here. Yeah, great. See you.